Alright, today I'm going to show a game played between GreatSephiroth and Zero, where I thought they both played really enterprising, interesting moves, and just thought it would be a fun kind of exploration of a crazy game. Of course, anytime you see GreatSephiroth play, it is very much worth watching. He is easily one of the best players of all time, and I was just excited to see him play, and I've been stalking people play games, and I thought this was a super cool game. So Zero will be red, GreatSephiroth will be blue. We'll be using this interface because I like being able to go back moves and show different lines. So Zero starts in 2, which is never my kind of instinct with a hand like this, but you can very much see the point. 694A is really good at setting up combos back from 1 or 3. 7876 and 8786 both have some synergy from 1. You'll also notice, though, GreatSephiroth's hand has a bunch of synergy with it, too. So one of my instincts in a position like this, and this doesn't mean I would always do this, but my first instinct would kind of be, don't flip that card. They have good combo back potential, but maybe I can set up something to do with it. GreatSephiroth, on the other hand, had very different instincts. And I was watching this game while talking with Delial, so we were both commenting on it. And after GreatSephiroth played A4, 7, 8, and 5, Delial was like, I will just be shocked if he wins this game, right? This is a very committal move, right? It flips their card, so suddenly all their combos potentially pay off. They have tons of combo potential on the card we just played, right? Vinny, I think this is Vinny, has both 4 and 8. They have a bunch of synergy here. They're still going to have a really easy time recapturing their card. Why are we putting this card in 5? What are we doing here? And to both of us, this struck us as very strange. I think I am less likely to go in 5 against a side starter than any other move type. Like, I'm more likely to play next to it, or play on one of the adjacent sides, or play on the opposite side, or a far corner, than I am to go in 5. So this move struck both of us as very alien and just like, what's he doing? But if we look a little deeper, and we're going to be able to see throughout the game, we're going to see some of the stuff he's setting up. There's some obvious synergies. So if I'm just chucking a card in a random square, let's not do that square. Let's do, say, here. A684 has some synergy. 72A8 has some synergy. A684 could potentially have synergy over here, and we have a number of ways to set that up, right? So, for instance, 8795 could go here, or 72A8 could go here, and that could potentially set something up down the road. But this is quite deep to be trying to do, kind of saying, I have this random hand, right? This is not a pre-made hand, and I'm just going to try to chuck this card in 5 because I see these distant future synergies with my hand, even though I'm on second turn and you have one card that beautifully covers both sides and his good powers facing in other directions. So it's not like, to hold on to this, you'll be holding on to a card that, yes, it flips 5, but doesn't flip anything else. This is a pretty powerful card. So just very strange move, and we could explore so many lines from here, but I want to play Zero's move, which also struck me as strange, and is really where we begin, which is Zero's move in 4. And immediately the game gets really complicated, because if you look at GS's hand, he actually has only one play in 1 in the, like, theoretically safe square that doesn't flip everything, right? Something like this is highly risky, right? This can be comboed back immediately if wanted. And all the cards are flipping that, right? Except for 72A8, which is a card we really kind of want to hold on to, because one synergy I forgot to say is 72A8 has 6 and 8. So it's pretty strong in 2 squares. It also has kind of non-redundant value with the hand. It has value in 3. It's probably the most important card in GreatSephiroth's hand. So we kind of don't want to spend it this early, even if it seems promising. And, it's just difficult to handle the 1 square. So we were looking at this position, and this was like a 2 or 3 minute, I think this was a 3-minute game, so this was played very quickly for a very kind of complex offbeat position. And we started thinking, what if GreatSephiroth goes in 1? Something like here, just trying to set up A684. Sure, they can go in 1, but we hit them back with A684 and 6. But this idea doesn't really work. For instance, if they flip us, I think this is the problem. I wrote down lines so I wouldn't forget, because I do often forget. They just hit it. If we hit them with 6, they have here at the end, and we lose. So we can't take 6 immediately, and because we've used 7 to A8, which is our most important card, we don't have combo threats in 7 or 8. and we can't really set up in too many other squares. I don't see a way to set up for a threat in 8. Yeah. So we really only have the threat in 6, and they counter in 8, and it doesn't work. So we're looking at this position. Dully throws out that idea, and then I go, okay, different version of it. 8, 7, 9, 5, and 9. And indeed, GreatSephiroth plays 8, 7, 9, 5, and 9. Now, I don't think this is actually the best move in the position, so I'm not claiming, wow, me and GS are geniuses here. But what a fun move to get to play in a game where you're setting up I'm just chucking a card in a random square so I can make moves, because I can't move the cards for the side that is not to move. Setting up the same here, also keeping the same wall here. We still have the same wall over here. We have a plus here and a plus wall and a plus wall everywhere. Just so many threats, and what a kind of offbeat square to play in this formation when it looks so obvious to take the 1 square and just playing in 9 and setting up more combos off this center move that seemed so offbeat to me. I'm sure some players this will seem like a more normal move than it does to me, but both Delial and I are really good players, and to both of us it struck as very strange, and yet I think has just a lot of power, and he sets up so much combo synergy here. And I didn't put in enough lines here, but you can see the danger that it's so easy. I don't know, if they make a move like this for just everything to get hit hard on the combo, right? This card is here and here, this card is here. Not sure what the best way to play this is. Probably just grab, right? Can't be hit back. Yeah, this has got to be winning. So that's probably the best way against that move. Against this one, might not have a win now that they kept this card. But you can see just immediately makes the game so much more complicated. Really good move. Though, as I said, I don't think the best move. Zero thinks for a while, runs the time pretty low, and then plays 7, 7, 8, 5, and 6. And I think this is a really smart move too, because it does give up the same walls on the 7s facing down, but it sort of turns the game into these explicit 2 pairs of squares that he has really well covered. Because 6, 9, 8, 4A is really good in both 1 or 3, but also is pretty good at capturing things in 7 or 8 if needed. And 8, 7, 8, 6 is also really good in 1 or 3. Notice this move set it up for 3 as well as being good in 1, and may also have decent power capturing stuff in 7 or 8. So sort of just makes both the remaining cards play really well. And GreatSephiroth thinks a bit and ends up playing A6, 8, 4, and 3, which makes sense. This is a card that had a lot of power and no longer does, because the 6th threat was blocked. That 6th threat was the really huge point of the move in 9, and Zero smartly blocks it. And, oh shit, what's the actual game finish? Zero blocks 8, I believe. GreatSephiroth plays in 1, and we end up with a tie. And I just thought this was a really cool, interesting game. It's crazy when you can see formations like this, because they really are just very rare in open play out of very creative play from both players. I did want to go back and actually say what the improvements were, because I think in this position, GreatSephiroth has, I think, 2 different ways to win this. And if you want to pause and sort of think about what you do or how you could sort of set up even more combo synergy or threats than GreatSephiroth managed, it's a good position to analyze, and I'm now going to get into the 2 moves and give a few variations, but great position for further exploration, because there's lots of complicated things to do. There's, calculating all the plays in 1, there's plays in 3 and 7, there's play in 9, there might even be stuff in 6 or 8. Okay. Win number 1 is here. Now, firstly, if 0 now goes in 1, there's only 1 card that's safe there, not vulnerable to combos back. And we have kept our we have kept as GS our 7-2A8, which is really good in 6 and 8 and 3. And we have kept our A6-8-4, which will keep being set up for combo potential, for instance, if 7-2A8 goes in 3. So, for instance, one really cool line I thought was after 6-9-4A, there's 1 win for blue, really fun position to try to solve. Pausing to let people solve it if they want. Boom. Oh, crazy move. Point is, we have the big threat in 7. But if we take the threat or it's the big threat in 8. But if we take the threat in 8 immediately, they have plays in 9, and the 8, 6, 7, 8 controls our hand well enough, right? Because we can't play this here because the 8, 7, 8, 6 takes it, combos it, and this one it just takes, and that's enough to tie. So we don't quite win there, but if we can sort of blockade the rest of the board and switch up the move order, suddenly 1 wasn't safe, right? The combo now flips the card in 1. Well, if we reverse the move order, play here and then here, that card in 1 is never flipped. Now this doesn't work. The turn order is kind of all the cards to the same squares, but by doing this move first, we turn it into a winning line. Now red is kind of obliged to block 8. They have no capture of 7, and we just combo off and win 6-4. So that's a crazy move. And what if they played something like 8, 7, 8, 6 in 1? With the idea of, if you take this combo, well, I think I can combo back, and I'm going to get a tie. So you still don't want to grab the combo immediately, even though you have it. And again, there's wins, and they're all great, so you can pause if you want to solve, or we can just get to them. But once again, A6, 8, 4, and 6 is a win, because again, we have this threatened 3 and this threatened 8, and red has 2 cards, but red can only hold on to one of them. They don't have a card for both squares, and they can't set it up for both squares, and this is kind of the weakness of first turn, is only having 1 card for that endgame, and it's going to be the same problems. I will also note A6, 8, 4, and 3 works, which will be an important move for future lines we check, because now 6, 7, 6A, and 6 is the devastating combo. And again, red also has the combos, right? Blue has a combo in 6 and a combo in 8. Red has a combo in 6 and a combo in 8. But blue gets to hold on to both cards for their last turn because they're on second turn. Red can only hold on to 1 and will get destroyed by the other square. So just really crazy lines here. One more line I wanted to show here was if they capture, we're going to have the same goofy finish where instead of just taking the obvious square in 1, the win is in fact in 3. And the point is that A4, 8, 7 gets comboed back hard. For instance, if they take, well, we combo everything, and that's an 8-2 win. If they do it this way, we also combo everything, right? And even though this flips back, no, it doesn't flip back. So that's a 9-1. So they can't occupy 1. We have this huge threat in 6. If they try to block 6, which makes sense, we have the combo back. And again, we win 6-4. So just really goofy finishes here. So 8, 7, 9, 5, and 7 is one of the wins. But there is another win, which is a move we've seen before, A6, 8, 4, and 3. Again, just setting up more combos, even though we're on second turn, because this makes this such a critical square. And this card is good in 6 and okay in 1, but it just won't end up capturing enough and kind of have to hold on to it. So if we play it too early, then simply this wins, where again, there's the problem blue has set up combos in both 6 and 8, and even though red has one of them, that's just nowhere near enough to hold. And then the other line I wanted to show here was if they block one with 8, 7, 8, 6, trying to hold on to 6, 9, 4A. Because if we give blue a chance, blue's going to occupy 1. So it seems worth occupying 1. We in fact have the same winning move with 8, 7, 9, 5 here. And again, there's the win in both squares, but also 8, 7, 9, 5 here works too. Setting up the 6, 7, 6A to have an even bigger potential combo. But just crazy, crazy lines, and I thought it was a fun game to explore, and I think both players played really enterprising here from the start. I think the move in 5 is Very ambitious. The move in 9 is a fantastic follow-up. Even if it turns out he missed a couple wins here, it is very hard to calculate positions like this out. There's so much going on. There's so many combo squares. On second turn, it can be very scary to leave open so many combo squares because you know they'll have the last crack at it. So really complex, interesting game. I'm grateful to both players for playing such an exciting game, and it's been fun to kind of stock games and look for good ones. I think I'm gonna put out another video on Belial playing at some point. I have played 7 or so open games so far. I think I'll put out a video with each of those. Vialva's been playing a lot of open. I'd like to put out a video on his games. But this was one that really jumped out to me as this would be a fun game to talk about. I spent a while looking at the lines. I used some AI to help me to make sure my calculation or ideas were correct. And also, I didn't find both winning ideas. I forget which one it found and which one I found. But did a bunch of checking through stuff, and what an exciting game. I hope you enjoyed it. It's so great to have Triple Triad Advance back, and it's great that we're getting awesome players playing. Like, we're getting GreatSephiroth. We get to see his games, and I get to record them and actually have them for posterity for the history of the game. So hope you enjoyed. Cheers.